To call the meeting to order, all those that can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Right. So roll call, please.
All board members are present with the exception of Mr. Salvia, and he will be on his way shortly.
Okay. The next item is approval of the agenda. Somebody like to make a motion, please?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Regular agenda.
Support.
Up.
Oh, regular agenda. Sorry, regular
Support.
agenda.
Okay, moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Emil, yes.
motion carries.
All right, now, Beth. The consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Emil, yes.
motion carries.
All right. Next item is announcements. Township office will be closed November 28th and 29th in observance of Thanksgiving holiday. Can't believe it's already right there in our face. It's unbelievable. Saturday, November 30th is Small Business Saturday. The Festival of Trees is December 1st through the 31st. And the Kris Kringle Market and tree lighting is December 2nd, 2024. And we have a new tree this year, so it's not living anymore, but it looks alive.
Can I add something?
Yes, you may.
So there, we have a new cell tower being constructed at Duck Lake Pines Park, and we've started receiving monthly payments for that. And they should be, I don't know when they'll finish. And then in 2025, our inflation rate will not be 5% like it has been the last 2 years. It'll be 3.1%.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add to that? Okay, so at this time, we have a presentation to do, and sitting two people to my left is our Honorable Judy Cooper, who has been working here so long that she's become a fixture of this facility. But I've been at this 12 years, and I was thinking about this, that in October of 2012, you and I were sitting next to each other at one of the last board meetings. And it was just really ironic that we had, it wasn't the election yet, but we had won in the primary. So we're sitting there trying to, like you guys are, except that we're anticipating we'll be sitting on this side of the table. And it was really interesting to have that flashback and to think about moving to the other side of the table and how many things that we've done together and the different positions that you've held in this process. And it has just been a fabulous experience for me. And it caused me to try another 4 years. I don't know why, but so on that note, if you guys look around, you see all this laser stuff here, and that's my handiwork. It's a toy that I, for some reason, was enamored with. And usually when you see proclamations or presentations, you see a piece of paper and it's got a little silver or gold embossed thing on it. And I think everybody here agrees that you're worthy of much more than that. And a proclamation isn't really even enough. But what I'll do is what I did is I burned the proclamation on wood instead of on paper. So it's a little bit longer lifespan, I hope. And I have to tell you that it was a project in its own right. As much as you would think these lasers, you start them and they go. Sometimes they go and they quit in the middle of it, So on the back of this, covered with white paper, is the first version that only burned halfway through. So this is the final. But actually, the first version, so you can get two of these, was burned on this tray. So one you can put cheese on, and the other one you can hang on the wall in the bathroom or wherever you want to put it. But so let me move forward. I'll try and do this and not end up crying here. So this proclamation is honoring Judy Cooper. Whereas Judy Cooper has been a dedicated and influential member of our community, serving timelessly as our deputy treasurer from 2001 to 2012, township treasurer from 2012 to 2020, and a township board trustee member from 2020 to 2024, contributing significantly to the betterment of our township. And that's just putting it lightly. Whereas a founding member of the Highland Community Roundtable, she has fostered collaboration and open dialogue among residents, promoting unity and shared purposes. And about that roundtable, that's one of those things that when we first got in, we talked about how can we make connections with the community. And that's what we've actually been doing for 12 years, trying to make connections with the community and be very open about that. And for you to take the steering wheel on that was very important. And I know that as supervisor, a lot of people expected me to it's just expectation that I would lead that. And I made a point of not being that lead person. And Judy was the right person to do that. She did a phenomenal job. So whereas Judy has championed civility events, creating spaces for respectful conversation and understanding, thereby enhancing the social fabric of our community. Whereas through her years of involvement with the Beautification and Garden Club, Judy has transformed public spaces, inspiring residents to take pride in the surroundings and to cultivate a love for nature. Whereas Judy's commitment to the Downtown Development Authority has been instrumental in revitalizing our community, bringing vision and dedication to local development projects. And whereas a board member and supporter of the Highland White Lake Business Association, Judy has empowered local entrepreneurs and strengthened the economic landscape of our township. Now, therefore, we present this wooden document on behalf of the Charter Township of Highland Board of Trustees and the citizens of Highland as a special thank you for your contributions and recognition of your unwavering service, leadership, and positive impact on our community. Signed and sealed this 18th day of November, 2024. Rick, Jennifer, Tammy, Brian, Beth, and Joe. Joe's not here, but we'll do it. So I'd like to present you with this. First your cheese tray, but thank you. Speech. One of the things that this past election, nationwide, statewide, local, whatever, all of them, one of the things that was sorely lacking was kindness. And it's one thing that Highland Township, I think, demonstrated better than any place in the country is kindness, consideration for the others. Our population is split just as equally as the national population is and how people vote and so on and so forth. But I can't say that I had any engagement at any point in time with the citizens of our community that wasn't positive. I mean, yeah, there's little tiny things, but those are normal. But Highland really has shown that it's a community where the elected officials work for everybody, not just for a party. There is no party here. And we even, I think, voted one time at a board meeting where we voted to look forward into having a non-partisan elections in Highland. It didn't get to go anywhere, but because it's not a partisan thing here. And Judy's intent and intense intent to maintain civility and to work with, promoting kindness is very, very responsible, very much responsible for that. And we really thank you for that. So you're going to be missed from the standpoint of being here at the board and being engaged in this one. But I know that your next life in your home in the woods is going to be your best place to be. So really looking forward to seeing you move into your new pleasure place. So thank you very much for everything you've done. You're welcome. All right.
Can I say something real quick? I know
Yes, you
you guys
may.
are gonna get, I thought you had a big speech ready planned here, but it's been my honor to sit next to you. And we've had a lot of fun and I appreciate it. And I don't know who's going to make the motions now, though. I'm really worried because I'm the ultimate supporter. So Beth, you're up. Okay. Judy, thank you very much for everything and all your friendship. I appreciate it.
The honor is all mine. Thank you so much for your support.
You're welcome. All right. The next item is I'm going to swear in some firefighters. Why are you not listen to what? Yeah, I'm not hearing you. So has somebody unplugged you? Wiggle your plug. Huh.
All right, Nick. Can you come up to the podium?
I can talk really loud today.
All right.
Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't get recorded. So if you can cross your fingers, that one works.
Okay, can everybody hear me now? So yes, today I'd like to recognize, we have 4 firefighters. One of them was just hired on as our full-time firefighter to take the place of Caleb Moreno. Caleb is actually here today, which I wasn't expecting. So I would actually like to take this time to recognize him real quick. He's been a valued member of our fire department since the day he stepped foot into our department as just a young probationary. He's been engaged, he's been active, and he's going to be definitely missed at the fire department. With that, we hired Blake Fotopoulos. He actually was one of our probationaries and just left here at the beginning of the year because he got the opportunity to go full-time in another department. Blake scored first in his verbal examination, passed all the other testing, the physical agility test and things like that. And he was actually one of the first person to apply as soon as he found out we're going to have a full-time opening. Because that's how much he loved and enjoyed being on our department. Could not wait to come back. He would have never left if I could have hired more and more and more, but fortunately we can't. So he's going to be a great addition. Him and Caleb were actually really good friends, so it's great to see him here. Yeah. And then with that, we also have 3 probationary members that have passed all of their testing. They went through fire school, EMT school. This is over 200 hours of education they've had to go through in the last 2 years, let alone all the training on the specialized equipment we have compared to other departments, things like that. People buy different brands. Everything takes a little bit different training. So we have 3 probationary employees: Hunter Sword, Alexa Lease, and Drake Bacon. I'm going to mess up the name. How to spell you? Okay. I'm terrible at spelling that last name. So we'd like to honor them, have them sworn in today. And if we could get a round of applause for them for all the dedications. not just for them, but they're also their families that have supported them through all of this. You guys can come up. Captain Bottom, if you want to come up too to help me pass out these helmets, because there's so many.
Okay, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of firefighter in and for the Township of Highland, County of Oakland, and State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
Where'd the microphone go up there? Oh. All right. I talked myself out there. Next item is public comment. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Public comment? Sure. Step to the front. Whoever wants to go first, or if there's two of you, or just move the mic up and turn it on and speak right into it. Turn it right towards you. There you go.
Good evening, Board. I appreciate the opportunity to speak here before you this evening. My name is Gary Herwick. I'm part of the Homeowners Association, and this is Cliff Patterson, who is the president of our association. We'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about our road repaving project and how much it's needed. I'm sure that this isn't the first one of these that you've either heard about or learned about. We are Lone Tree Acres subdivision, which is just west of Milford Road off of Lone Tree Road. We're 32 homes, three streets, approximately a mile of road. Our current asphalt roads are 40 plus years old, 45 plus years old. The subdivision development was 1976 through 1979. We have very large potholes, as you might accept. Probably not quite car size, but almost car size. And, we have a lot of, at all of the intersections of the streets and extensive asphalt cracking on all of the streets. So it won't be long if we don't do the repaving project before that will break up and we'll go back to a gravel road. We pursued the special assessment district process with the Oakland County Road Commission beginning last spring, and the estimated cost, apportionment among the homeowners was provided in September. We've been through a Zoom meeting also with the Road Commission. The entire project cost is $1.12 million for those three streets, approximately a mile of road. And the estimated cost per homeowner is $31,000 to $35,000. So that would be a very steep hill to climb for most of our neighbors. And there's probably no way we'll get it done with that amount of money. There is, of course, a 10-year, 6% simple interest payment option. But even that would add quite a bit to taxes, as you might know. The cost, we had gone through this process back in the early 2000s, 20 years ago, and the cost has more than tripled over that period of time. As I recall, it was about $8,000 per homeowner at that time. So the cost has tripled. The recent home sales indicate that that LTA is a desirable place to live. We're acre and a half lots. All of the properties are well maintained. It's equidistant from, the village of Milford, but also from M59 and Highland. 1400 Orban Street sold for 565,000, about a month ago. And there's another home that's on the market now for 400,000. Perhaps we've heard that there was some funding available that might help us out with this from the Tri-County funds, which is supposed to be divided equally among the township, the county, and the road commission. So we're still pursuing that, talking with our Oakland County Commissioner. But I don't know whether that's going to do the job for us or not. Probably not. If we can get a piece of that, that's $2 million. If we can get a piece of that, I lost the timer. I don't know what happened to it. Okay.
We ran out. Keep going.
Okay. The current, the status of the current project is if we can't get that number down to $15,000 per homeowner, we're probably not going to be able to do it. It isn't saleable. So we'd have to have approximately $500,000 in order to do that, to help out of that $1 million project. So that's kind of where we stand. We think we know it's in the township's interest, and it's certainly in the interest of the homeowners to get that done. So anything you can do for us, in that regard, we would sure like to talk about it. Have anything to add to that, Phil?
All right.
Flip?
And if the township doesn't, what would the process be to start helping homeowners with just not ours, but I'm sure there's bad roads in Oakland County everywhere that need help. I mean, we all see it on the news every day. So what would the process be to get funding for that from the township? Or there is no way, and that's it?
I can't really answer that at this point in time. I'm not trying to be evasive, but
Okay.
what we'll have to do is have our township engineer sit down with her and go through some of the processes. And that's what we ended up having to do with Dunham Lake, Dunham Hills. Well, it's not Hills, Dunham Lake. And once again, we did not participate in that. But the residents did manage to, work with the county with a private contractor, I believe. I'm pretty sure they used a private contractor. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to afford it. But the county oversaw they managed the project. But, it was a significant cost change. So I think if the numbers you got are from the county, you need to investigate a private contractor to see what you can come up with on that, so that you have a comparative. And then the process is to work with, we can help to work with the county to try and help them do a similar process. But we don't have any access to the resources that the county uses in their road fund, where they have millions of dollars set aside to do these special assessments and do the loan as well. So
you don't have access to those tri-county funds, Rick? Is that?
they're called tri-party, and those tri-party funds are actually our share of it. We usually use for gravel the gravel roads. In other words, it's to coat the roads with gravel. So, and I think average yearly is probably about $35,000. So it's not going to do much. It'll pay for 12 pages of the engineering, and but doesn't mean that we can't try and help somewhere or another. I mean,
So if we do decide to go with a private contractor, who would we contact with the township to help us with that?
Beth Corwin, who is our in-house engineer, she's in the building department,
Okay,
building and planning.
okay.
And then she is very familiar with what happened in Dunham, and she has experience in the road building stuff and that, so. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Question.
Is that a county road or not? Is that a township road?
They're county roads.
The county road? Okay. Does the county have some functionality on that road?
Yeah, charge them $2 million or whatever. What was the amount again?
Yes, they are county roads.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the assessment from the road commission as well. And feedback from the Dunham Hills folks, they were very happy with the contractor that they used in Dunham Hills. That they did a great job.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Next item is any other public comment? Dave, you have anything? Okay. Grant, you want to say anything? All right. Well,
Public comment.
that'll keep
Public
the
comment.
meeting shorter.
I have public comment.
Yes.
I apologize for being late. The school board, we had a veterans recognition ceremony at the school board today, and they gave us some certificates of appreciation. So since I'm part of that color guard and driving force for honoring all our veterans and throughout the Huron Valley school system, I kind of had to be there. So I apologize for being late. So I did get sworn in. I may get sworn at. I'm not sure which is more appropriate. So thank you. Sorry, folks.
Well, the other part of that is that our board meeting is on an off night for us. So it's not your fault. Normally we're the first Monday, so. But thanks for what you do, Joe. I appreciate it. All right. The next item is public hearing, and we're going to start it at 6:57. And this is for the township's 2025 proposed budget. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment about the budget? Gotta get at least 30 seconds on it, you know. All right, no public comment. That's a good thing, let me tell you. Because we have a team here that does, I think, a great job and has for the 12 years that I've been working here of preparing the budget and making sure that we're in positive mode, not in negative mode, and that we're not wasting money either. So, and we're continuing to do that moving forward on this new budget. All right. So, on that note, the public hearing's closed at we'll call it 6:58. There we go. Turns 6:58. All right. The next item is a public hearing for 2025 Community Development Block Grant application. Is that for the new stuff, the new application? Okay. Then we're going to begin the public hearing at 6:58. And
Can I ask a question? Why, I guess I've been on the board a long time, but why do we have to have a public hearing for this? What is, might as well take a minute and explain to me if you don't mind. Oh, sorry.
all right. So no comment. So we're going to call it 6:59.
So it's a new application for community block fund grant money. And so we're proposing Meals on Wheels and a project at the senior center
Yeah.
for a new kitchen. Is this
Yeah.
the application? Remodel of the kitchen. And sometimes like Haven will come and
Oh, I see.
yeah, so we open the public. Yep. So we open it for them to give us their story and ask for the funds. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it's been a long time.
Okay. So move on to the next item here. Okay, new business. This is the approval for the Highland Township 2025 budget. But before I guess we'll make a motion. Yeah, let me say this first. If you look at the last time we had the discussion on the budget, we said there were a couple of open items. So the first open item is on page 2. And you'll see the blue, and what those were salary adjustments that were in the in the process that we were working with the employees on prior to the last or after the last budget was presented to you guys. Then on page 5, there's a change in ordinance. There's actually it's a 2-part thing. It's for a full-time converting a person to full-time. In ordinance, right now it's works with the fire department and does our ordinance enforcement as well. And you can see those numbers there. And then on page 8, this is you'll see it's under fire, and it's this 40 hours full-time fire. So we share the cost of that employee with the fire department, and this is the representation for that change. And then the last thing is on page 14 in the DDA under economic restructuring. There was an additional $2,500 for a rental grant that was added to the budget. And those are the changes. So they're marginal. So does
I move to approve the Highland Township 2025 budget as presented.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? This is great. I mean, Judy, you want to say something?
I have to have a comment, right?
Pull your mic down a little bit.
It's not a bad thing at all. I was looking at the fund balance. Where is it? Page. Yes.
On page 2?
It's on page 6.
Oh, page 6.
So the fund balance is going to end up being more than the budget. And I just wanted to remind the board that our policy is 40 to 60%. So I would suggest that, and you're probably just waiting until after the audit to move the money to capital, to move some of that money to capital.
Yep.
Improvement. Thank you.
That gives us time to figure out how to make it
That's
go away.
good.
No.
That's a good thing.
That's a great thing. Yeah.
And that's what I was alluding to earlier, is that this is what we've done for 12 years so far. And even before, because that's how this building got built, was making sure that, and the irony is that the resources currently are about 600,000 that we get from property taxes. So the rest of this budget comes from other sources. Sales tax being the tax sharing, or the revenue sharing from the state that comes from sales tax. And to be able to still do what we do and put money aside for future use, and these things we've been putting into capital improvement things each year, that 40 to 60%, whatever flows over. And that's how we've been now working on the parks, which are coming due for things. And so that's how we were able to make that happen. So, all right.
And this fund balance, it includes the $1.5 million for this year already being moved, right? To capital improvement?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
In 2024.
Yep,
Yep.
it looked like it,
Yeah.
but
I had a comment. I thought that was fund balance, FUN. Fund, not fund. Okay, thank you.
Depends on how you look at it. It is a fund balance. It's actually very interesting to be able to do the things we do in Highland with the generosity of our taxpayers. Right. So no more comments, and vote, please.
All right. Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item is resolution 24-33. No, gotta back up. Put the check in the wrong spot. Resolution 24-31. This is for approving the 2025 Community Development Block Grant application that we just had the public hearing on. Somebody like to make a motion?
I move to approve resolution 24-31, approving 2025 Community Development Block Grant application.
Salvia support? And move to support. Any discussion on that? No discussion. We'll vote, please.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item. Resolution 24-33, General Appropriations Act.
I would move to approve resolution 24-32, the 2025 General Appropriations Act.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
So, in the agenda, it says 33, and then here it says 32. This is actually 33. Because 32 is down under line E, so it's 24-33.
What about this?
The agenda is.
But the,
Still fix it.
okay,
Still support.
so it's 33. Oops. Okay, so this is, this sets, I talked about the, what the taxpayers pay. This sets the millage operating, numbers. Right? Any comments or discussion?
It also lists the hourly wages of the employees.
Is that one or is that the,
So that's the resolution and then it goes into.
why did it print on the back of that? Okay, it's because it's upside down. All right. Okay, vote please.
Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick.
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Next item is resolution 24-34. Our numbers are correct here, I hope. To opt out of the provisions of PA 152 of 2011. Judy, we always give you this one to answer what's going on with that. Everybody goes, what's that?
It's just, it's more housekeeping than anything. I think the Public Act says that the employee should pay, I believe it's 20% of their health care. And we opt out of that here so that we can offer our employees something a little better.
All right. There you go. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-34 to opt out of provisions of PA 152 of 2011.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussions on that? All right, vote please.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Miss Frederick.
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
And yes.
Motion carries.
I just want to say one thing real quick. I'm glad we were able to do this because I know how much my insurance went up this year at the school district, which is ridiculous, but that's a different thing. But it's nice that we can do this for our people. So it's sure expensive, I'll tell you.
Just to clarify,
gonna
it's
say.
only the people who were hired before 2016 that are opted out from this. Everyone that was hired after that is paying 20%.
Well, even those, that's nice. It's okay. I'll rephrase that. I'm glad we can do stuff for certain people. because I know how expensive it is and it's crazy, but I'm glad for those people that we can help them out.
All right. I made the motion, right? Did somebody support that? We voted. Oh, yeah, I know where we're at now. Okay. This is an introduction only. Now, Lisa, on introductions, do you have to vote to introduce it still? All right. Okay, this is to introduce ordinance number Z032, an ordinance to amend the Charter Township of Highland zoning ordinance, chapter 25 of the General Code of Ordinances by revising Article 9, district-specific regulations to increase the maximum allowable lot coverage in Highland Station zoning district, and Article 11, access management, parking and circulation to reduce the parking requirement for gas stations. So this is only for the Highland Station district, which is in the DDA. Which-
Regulation to increase the maximum allowable lot coverage.
I said that.
Yeah, I think so. Is that your
Sure.
motion?
Motion. To introduce.
I'll support.
Okay, moved and supported. So, anybody have any questions on this?
Yeah, can you explain this to me?
Sure.
And if Judy doesn't get it, I definitely don't understand it. So-
Okay, what there used to be was a requirement of certain number of parking spaces, which when you've got, if you look at the Highland Station zoning, I mean, the lots in there are so small that you can't possibly get the number of spaces you need and have a building. So it was put into play in the master plan for the DDA back in 2008, 4 or something like that. And I think it was kind of one of those kind of a normal thing for the way we do parking spaces is, but what happens is in the Highland Station district, the lots are so small that if you have to stick to those numbers, then you can't build. So it's a reduction of the number of spaces required for parking. And if you think about it, look at how many retail places have acres of asphalt and rarely ever use them. And those are numbers that are created by, sometimes I wonder if they just come out of the sky, but anyways, she says no. Yeah, babies have formulas too, so you can feed them. Never mind, we won't go there. But anyways, this is to correct that situation so that we have more of the ability to be able to make these things work. And in order to get the BP gas station, especially that has already submitted its plans, where the old marathon was, that's the only way they can really do it. So,
Thank you.
right?
And then the lot coverage was only 20%. And when you cover a gas station property, it's more than that. You can't have a parking lot and a building on 20% of lot coverage.
Okay. Did we have a support on that?
Yep.
Okay. Vote, please.
All right. Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
Okay, this next item is resolution 24-32 approving road. It's funny, it says vacation and all I can think of is going on vacation, vacating. So what we have here is South St. John, south of Maher's Feed. The road continued all the way to a swamp that abuts the property where the old donkey farm was, whatever you want to call that. So that was added back in the 1800s. And so there's a home that got built on a lot there. There was a little house there. And so a home got built on that lot, and people that have that lot asked if the road could be vacated, because there's really no way that the road could go anywhere because it goes right into a swamp, which is just a short distance. So this is a process that occurs. The county has to be involved in it, the state. That was platted. How did that work, Lisa? Right. Right. So anyways, it's a little more involved in the past, unless we did them wrong. Depends on how the road is platted, I guess. Right. So anyways, that's what this is about. So this individual was there you are. Pardon me? Oh, come on up. Push the button. There you go.
Okay. Really beneficial to our lot to have this just for some reasonable parking. And that road is really situated. It's not a road. It looks like our driveway, but it's situated like 14 feet off our front porch. So my only question was, it was my understanding that this could be handled at like the township level. So is that the only way that we can get the road that the road commission had vacate or abandoned? I'm asking you to vacate. I was under the impression that that when you guys vacated it, that it would go to my neighbor on the other side of it, half of it to him and half to me. That's the only way to go forward is for me to petition the court. Okay.
The law is that plat, and that plat says it's a road.
Okay.
So all the people that live in the subdivision use that road.
Right.
Describes what they need to do in order to amend the plat to properly reflect what it's going to.
Okay. I've read through the Land Division Act a few times, so I just found some what to me seems conflicting, but I'm probably just not understanding it. But do you mind if I show you this one piece from me?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the township's attorney, so we can't use her for your purpose.
Right.
So
Okay.
the simple answer is the township says, and I don't think there's going to be an issue here because we're speaking before we do it. I'm speaking before we do it, but the township has no issue with vacating it, which we're just asked if we have an issue. The county may or may not, if they've said that they're willing to do it, then they can do it. Now, what happens is the ball's completely in your court, and you're going to have to probably hire, I would say, a real estate attorney or somebody that's familiar with platting and that to petition the state to abandon that portion of that plat. So you'll have to pay somebody something. You don't have to pay us, you don't have to pay the county, but you're gonna have to pay somebody with legal expertise to make sure that everything's dotted. And very likely, unless all of the neighbors or some of the neighbors say we don't want it vacated, then you probably won't be able to do it. So that's what you'll have to get as an attorney to be able to tell you exactly what you need to do and help you through that process.
Okay. Yeah, I have one. He's in Cancun. I just found out about this on Friday. So, but okay. I just want to make sure I was under the impression it could be handled at township also. Thank you. So,
Well, you're welcome. And thanks for moving in there. That's a kind of a cool little spot. So.
It's becoming one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, well, when we get done, they'll, you see the clerk, not today, but, yeah.
With that revisited plat would probably be good for all the people that are connected to it then, as far as.
Yeah.
Okay. And they could share in that legal expense possibly.
Yeah, I don't think you can expect them to share the expense. I mean, because they're not benefiting, so. Oh, they could get half, yeah. Well, that may be the way to, yeah. Okay, you're good. Okay, thank you, Nicholas.
Oh, there's space at the bottom instead of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was moved up, make it look right. But for recording purposes, it's gonna be.
Okay, we didn't do anything with that yet, so. So I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-32 to approve the 34. Okay. To vacate a portion of South St. John.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Vote please.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes, Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Louis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
Okay, next item. This is a request from Jennifer Frederick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Jennifer. You've had an opportunity to read what is in here. So Jenny, you want to explain what happened to you?
So I was hired in 2003 and we looked at minutes. So in 2009, the township board, I was hired full-time and they put me to part-time, and I was rehired full-time in 2012 because in the policy, it said if you went from part-time to full-time, you were a new hire. And during that time, they made a personnel policy change, that anyone hired after 2008 would no longer be eligible for retiree health care. So I'm requesting that we consider that I was not a new hire and that currently I have at least 12 years full-time from 2012 to 2024, plus my initial 5 to 6 years full-time.
Okay, so I think that what we need to do is the board's aware that Jennifer is requesting this. And I think that the best thing to do is not to vote to approve this, but to take the data that we need to pull together, to look at all the policies, look at make sure that we're not creating a potential scenario where people who are no longer working here come back and ask for something like that. And so what we'll do is I don't know if we have to postpone it or what do we do? Well, let's postpone it. We'll call it indefinitely, so that we can make sure trying to do it by December is probably not going to work. I'm sure that our attorneys may be taking some time off in there in December, and our board meeting's only a couple of weeks away. So we'll postpone this indefinitely. And I guess we need to vote on that, right? All right, so, that's actually the full intent that to put Laura on it and make sure we're doing the right thing. Yeah, I'll make a motion to postpone the topic for adjusting the hire date for Jennifer Frederick indefinitely at this point in time until we address all of the legal ramifications, including conversations with our attorney.
Support.
Nope. You
Stereo.
can have it.
Okay, moved and supported.
Question.
Anybody have any questions, discussion on it?
I have a question.
Yes.
So indefinitely, what if you don't bring it up again? Am I allowed to ask you to bring it up
Sure.
if it's been?
Sure.
I just never heard the word indefinitely. We've postponed something before.
Well, it means it stays on the
I
table there anyways.
just clarifying.
Okay, I have a comment to make about that in terms of discussion. There's been this thing that's gone on for as long as I've been in office. What's a new hire? And especially in, as an elected official, a new hire every time. And that came up because what happens is if you had a new person come in, or a new hire, but when you go through the whole process of getting reelected, you basically, for a very microsecond in time, possibly, you are unemployed as an elected official. So if you're unemployed, are you a new hire? Well, it seems that there's been a lot of evidence that states that that's not the case with elected officials. In Jennifer's case, she wasn't not an elected official, but she worked full-time. Then because of economic conditions at no fault of her own, she was put onto part-time, not fired or not relieved of her job and then rehired part-time. But then for some weird reason, they decided to make change in the way they addressed it. She never received any documentation that said she was no longer employed, but became a new hire upon time of being put to full-time. I don't see how I think that's, there's some kind of a problem there. And that's, I think what we really need to address is, she's worked here since 2003. And I remember the first time she met me, she probably didn't like me, but no. So anyways, that's my point of view on it. I felt it's worthy of having this look into it. And she's been a phenomenal employee and she's done a phenomenal job as a treasurer. And the reality is that this is not like going to cost the township tens of thousands of dollars. This is pretty simple stuff here. So, but we'll come up with those numbers and everything that we need. Yes.
As you said, we want to make sure that whatever decision is made is clear to anyone else that may be impacted by that. So
Right.
that's important.
Yep. So, all right. Vote, please.
Ms. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis. Lewis, yes. Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Emily, yes.
Motion carries.
All right. So the next item is fire department. The scuba packs and SCBA packs. We've got the documentation here, so I'll try and ramble through this. So this is Nick's fire chief's memo. The SCBA packs and bottles are currently at end of life. We're working on replacing the bottles and packs that have reached the end of life. This year, we are losing 3 SCBA packs and 20 bottles. Lead time to receive the product is estimated at 4 to 6 weeks. The holidays may interfere, but I, being Nick, would like authorization to order them for the 2024 budget year. A copy of the quote is included in the packet. MES is our vetted Michigan dealer for Scott SCBAs, so didn't have to put it out for quotes. The funds will come from EMS revenue that we have made above the projected amount anticipated. Purchasing them this year will allow us to purchase more turnout gear from next year's capital improvement fund due to the 12 people testing on November 9th, hoping to become probationary employees. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions. So the quote is for $66,615.
I move to approve the fire department purchasing 3 SCBA packs and 20 bottles.
Support Sylvia.
You want to put the amount in?
Yeah, for approximately $66,615 as presented.
Nick?
Oh,
There's 5
so you
SCBA
want
packs.
3 or 5? Okay,
5.
So how
as
much,
presented in the quote, 5 packs, 20 bottles, 5 masks. Every bottle.
Okay.
how many of these do you have?
Jody, second
How many of
that.
these do you use?
Yeah, I support the corrected motion.
Like, is there a lot more than the 5? Okay. Okay. Cause I'm like, we just did this not long ago. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So many of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Then you have one bottle. So it's good to replace them. Stages from get grants.
It's actually smarter to do it in stages because then you're not having that
Replacing them all.
all gone at one time. So, all right. So, vote please.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Miss Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Oh, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next item is the service period for Lucas devices. What kind of devices are they? Okay. So the Lucas device is a mechanical CPR device, and the Life Pack is okay. The Life Pack 15 cardio monitors has expired with your authorization. I'd like to purchase another 3-year package. This would cover both our existing Lucas devices and all 3 of our existing Life Pack monitors. This doesn't include the Life Pack 35 and 3rd Lucas device we just purchased. That purchase was done with a ProCare package already. I've allotted funds to the budget amendment on the agenda for the fire department. Total cost of the 3-year package is $28,082.70. So I'll make a motion to approve the request for Lucas devices and Life Packs service.
Support.
All right, moved and supported. Any questions?
I just want to note that this is a single source item. That's why there's no bids.
All right. Vote please.
Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis. Lewis, yes. Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel,
Yes.
motion carries.
Next item is, one of the things we had, I pointed out in the budget, and that's, this is a request from, to, promote, a current part-time ordinance officer assistant to a full-time position. This role will include providing administrative and clerical support for the fire department during the additional hours. Right now, she's working part-time, so the proposed salary for 2025 is $22.10 per hour. The applicant will be classified as a full-time employee and will accrue paid time off and benefits on a 40-hour work week schedule. This will be an increase to the township budget of $658 for the 2025 budget year, for a total of $36,535. The fire department will begin contributing $24,356 for the 2025 budget year. Position will take effect beginning January 1st, 2025.
I move to approve Amanda McClear from part-time to full-time beginning January 1st per the memo.
Read the last line there and approve the budget amendment.
Approving this promotion and budget amendment.
Support, Salvia.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussions? All right, vote please.
I just want to clarify that the benefits are split on a 70-30.
The benefits are split on a 70-30 basis between the township and the fire department.
Just the benefit?
No,
Oh,
I mean,
I thought it was 60-40.
70.
I think it went to 70-30.
Okay.
We spelled out in the memo what
Right, the amounts are.
the pay, but it doesn't really mention the benefits.
Mm,
So just clarifying that. Are we ready to vote? All right, Mrs. Lewis. Lewis, yes. Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Yes.
motion carries.
On that note, we've completed our journey tonight.
I have a quick question on public comment. I had one thing that I didn't get a chance to say. I want to thank the fire department once again for helping us with the flagging of M59 with the American flags. I believe it's probably 20 years that I've been doing this with or without anybody's permission. And I just do it. And we've had a lot of compliments from passerbys coming through the community. The last few years, the flag teams that I've put together from our veterans groups and Knights of Columbus are starting to wane because they're nervous about getting up on ladders. Chief was kind enough to start offering the fire department crew to help with that, saying that we've reached our destination of taking those down after Veterans Day. So Chief, I would encourage you to, if you could take them down. Everyone know the support behind that is the Huron Valley State Bank is becoming a fund source for that. Our veterans are having a fund source to pay for these supplies, materials. And so the key element is getting them assembled and taken down each year. And Chief, thank you so much for stepping up for that. We'll probably have a meeting on that in the next couple of days to pull the team together. But our veterans are very, very gracious to do that. I'm getting nervous, especially after our supervisor fell off a roof. I don't feel like falling off a ladder. So thank you, Chief. Thank you, board, for your consideration. The flags really benefit our community overall. And there's no really cost to the township thus far. So thank you.
Well, it's called working together and maximizing the efficiency of everything we've got here. So
Supervisor Hamel, I have a
Yes.
question. Would Amanda McClare be considered a new hire because she's going from part-time to full-time?
no,
Yes, currently per the policy she is.
yes, Yep. By the policy, right? We don't know.
Okay.
All this, okay, jeez. All right, on that note, meeting adjourned.